Hi guys, I am back with my Kente cloth part 2. Okay, and I switched examples, so I'm on my other example. But I have my paper mostly woven through here. Okay, I'm at kind of the end here, and we're going to talk about what steps we want to do. But first, I want to kind of make sure everything's tucked in where it needs to be. I want it to be as close as it can be. Okay, so that might be nudging over just a little bit. Okay, like so, just carefully going through. Remember, we don't want to rip our paper accidentally. Okay, so once you have that done, so you can see how mine looks here. This one I did the chevron cutting on it. Okay, but I have about enough space for 2 more pieces here. Okay, but I'm actually going to only do one. So I'm going to scoot this little purple one up here a little bit more. Okay, and I'm only going to do 1 more strip here, even though I have the space for 2. Okay, now this one, I'm going to take, and the next color that I have in my row is going to be yellow. What I want to do first is I want to take my glue stick here. If you don't have a glue stick at home, if you only have liquid glue, that's fine. You'll just want to use it very, very sparingly. So just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, but I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to kind of draw a line here where my yellow is going to go. Okay, and I'm just kind of going across. Oh my gosh, it's defective. I'm going across here very carefully, okay, because if I go back and forth, I could accidentally rip my background paper. So I'm going about halfway here to start off with, okay? And so I'm just going to, this one starts on top, okay? And so I'm kind of just weaving it in through here like this, just like I have been, okay? And I'm only doing half of it because stick glue seems to dry a little bit faster than liquid glue does. And so I'm going to weave this part through here. Oh, it's already sticking. Just like this, okay? And then I'll go ahead and add in the rest of it. Okay, so we'll do here, here, and there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring this through. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So, there we go. Weaving it through here, go under this one, and over this one here, and then back under here, okay? And then I'll bring this right up here. Okay, now if you feel like your glue is not sticky enough, you can always kind of go through and adjust it. I'm gonna pull this forward here. Okay, now on the back of this side right here, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over where my yellow ended here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in some more glue here. Okay. There we go. All right, bring this up this way. This side feels like it's sticking pretty well. I think I kind of jumped the gun on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift it downward a little bit like this. Okay, and I'm gonna add some more glue. Can you just stop that? Through here. Do a little bit here. Okay, and then we'll move it right back up. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull this through here just to kind of straighten it out a little bit. Okay, and I think that's where we need to be. All right, so I have this one glued down right over here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing down the rest of my pieces on the edges, okay? So we'll start at the bottom, down here, okay? And I already did my yellow one here, so I'm going to move on to my pink next. I'm just going to add a little bit there. Okay, that one's going to be kind of tough to do, so I'll come back. And actually, you know, I think I'm going to switch to liquid glue for this part. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my liquid glue. It'll be a little bit easier to get to. Okay, so I'm just going to add a tiny little dot here and place this down this way. Okay, and let's see if we can get a little bit of a closer angle here for you. Okay, so I just finished this, whoops, this pink one right here. So I'm lifting my yellow up. I'm adding a small little tiny bit of glue here. Okay, it's woven in, so it's already holding together pretty decently. This is just to secure it in place. Okay, so I'm doing this side here. Okay, and I'm just moving through. A little tiny bit here on my yellow. Okay, so just a very small amount. Then I'm going to turn it over. Okay, so I'm just rotating this here. Okay, and I'm going to start again. Okay, so this time I have my, do you see this guy up here? He was a little bit off. Let's fix him. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to, and I don't know if you see this, but see this, it was really, really close, and whenever I moved it just now, it kind of broke off. That's okay, because I'm going to glue this here in a little bit. Okay, but I'm going to start with my purple first, and add a small little bit here. And then my green is next. Oh my goodness. There we go. And I just move on down the line. Okay. I'm adding just a tiny bit for each one of these. Okay, and once I've done this side, I'm now going to take this here. Okay, and I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to flip it to the back side. So I'm turning it upside down, and now I'm looking at the back. Okay, and I'm going to do just the same thing again. I'm going to go through. Okay, so these sides haven't been glued, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue on both this side and this side up here. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I have completed all of the gluing on both sides of my woven paper here now. Okay, and what I want to do, so we have a little space down here for one more strip of paper, but I'm actually not going to use this strip of paper. Okay, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut this further down here so that I have a little bit of a fringe at the bottom. Okay, and if you need to double check and make sure this is secure, you can do that. Mine feels like it's pretty good to go. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors, and since this one is kind of a chevron look to it, I'm going to cut at an angle for this. If your lines were straight up and down, you could do it straight up and down. Also, if you just wanted to make, if you had something like a wavy pattern of some sort, you could make yours straight up and down. It's up to you. Okay, but I'm just going to continue on what I have. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one kind of at this angle here, like this. Like, just like this here. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting each of these strips here, and for fun, just to make it a little bit more fringy, okay, I'm going to add a little extra cut about halfway on these. Okay, so on this little piece right here, let me get a little closer for you. Okay, on this piece right here, see how it's the size of, it's the same size, or it's the size that it's supposed to be all the way through. I'm just going to carefully cut this one in half like this. Okay, so be super careful when you're doing this. Okay, so I could cut this one in half, and then I can cut this one to be kind of free here. Okay, so this one I'm cutting in half, and this one I'm cutting to be separated. Okay, if it makes more sense for you to cut all of these first and then go back and cut them in half, you can do that. I'm going to finish mine up. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I have all of my edges cut here. Okay, you can also double check just to make sure that everything is secure. This one right here is a little bit looser than what I'd like, so I'm going to come in with my liquid glue again, just because it's easier to kind of get in here with that. And I'm going to add just a little bit here. Okay, this one's pretty secure. This one seems good. That one's all right. So that one just got done. So most of these are okay. That middle one was just a little questionable. But I am going to go ahead and flip it over and double check this side as well. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of lift. So like this one needs a little bit of help. Like that. Okay, I know that one's secure. Okay, so this side didn't really get a good amount of glue on it. So I'm just adding a little bit here, and this is to secure everything so that if so that when I hang this up, I don't have papers just falling out. Okay. So I'm adding a little bit here. Just to make sure it's nice and secure. All right. So those are all of my edges now. Okay, now I get to work on the fun part. So I'm going to take my Sharpie marker, okay, and you'll want to use a black Sharpie for this, okay, and I want to use the one that looks like this, that has the marker tip on it, okay, instead of using a the ultra fine, which is more like a pen, okay. And so for this, I'm going to draw some geometric shapes on my lighter colors here. If your base color was not black, if you had a base color of like yellow or literally any other color that's lighter, you can do this on all of your areas here, okay? So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a similar pattern to what I have going on. I have my four different colors here. I might do 4 different patterns. We'll see how it works out. Okay, so for this one, right? So geometric, remember that's like a square, a triangle, something that's kind of angular. Okay, so I think that on this one, I'm going to just draw some kind of points going up like this. Here. All the way across. All the way across here. Okay. And then for my next one, I'm going to do kind of a, goes like straight and then down and then out and then out. And then it continues down like that. This one kind of runs out of space here, so I'll stop there. So across and then down and then out. Across, down, out. Like that. Okay, if you want to, and I'm going to put one here. So if this were continued off and this were kind of cut off, I would see this and this probably here. Oops. Okay, so you can look up different designs from Kente cloth to get some ideas. That's what I did. Okay. Okay, and so you're going to continue adding some details there. Okay, so I went in and added in all of my designs, and I kind of just kept the same design for each color. I might have like shifted it around just a little bit to add some interest, but the kind of the same basic design. It's up to you how you want to do yours. If you want to do all different designs, you can do that. If you want to kind of keep it the same throughout, just shifting it around, you can do that. And again, on your base color, you can also put designs in there, right? So for example, if I had a lighter color instead of a black background, on this one, I could have kept this yellow and done a design here if I wanted to, okay? And so this is what it looks like when it's finished, and I have my nice fringe down here. Okay, so you'll take a picture of this, turn this in on Canvas, and I do want to see them in person when we get back because I am excited. I want to see how these come out.